We are recording. Which best face on? Which is my good side? Neither.
Good morning, guys. I'm here. I'm just off to the side.
Hey, Bruce. Glad you're here. I am going to put up our screen so that everybody can see what we're going to work on today. And do you see the logo?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. All righty, here we go. This is a gratuitous commercial for another product that we have, which is certification, and we'll talk to you about that later on. We do have some gratuitous commercials throughout the session. This is session 1 of 4. And there's a letter here that you guys can read. Now I sent you, and I see you've got yours printed out. And we're going to start right here. Auto Rental Solutions designed this course to assist you in creating your own profitable rental car company. Many times, by the way, we get invited to speak to people that are already in business or startups that have not even bought a car yet. So this fits in both entities, although most of the comments are when you start up, you should do this, okay? Auto Rental Solutions will do its best to help you find your identity in your neighborhood, which you already have, and find a specific inventory that fits your client base, which you already have. I do have a question for you guys. Are you a Tesla dealer?
No, we're not a dealer of Tesla. No,
Okay,
we have made friends with them
that's
over
good.
the time. Yeah, over the months of buying the cars, but no, we're not a Tesla dealer.
And how long have you been renting cars?
We started, our first rental was in January of this year.
No, okay.
Good morning,
You're already
Jim.
up to 25 cars. Wow.
Yeah, and just real quick, for me, I wanted to make a quick comment. I hate the word rental. So can we use the word booking?
Booking is good.
Yeah.
I won't remember, but we'll try.
Well, now you won't forget.
What is that term we're gonna try to use?
Booking.
We're trying to
Booking?
steer away from people looking at us as a rental car company. We're trying to get them to look at us more as a Tesla experience when they come down to Miami, something new to try, something different instead of just a regular rental car.
Okay.
Yeah, our goal is
And,
to offer a premium booking experience, not just the car, the technology, the people, the whole gamut of the operation
Okay.
is what we are offering.
Then let me
How's,
ask you this. Tell me about your experience.
So the experience is based basically the people, 90% or 95% of people, they know Tesla and they know it as a buzzword, but they have never experienced anything but a gasoline car, right? So the fact that we only do Teslas and all our cars are electric only, it's an experience that is kind of the gateway to the future. So I call it, it's like a rite of passage to the future because you're going from, let's say, a horse and carriage to a gasoline car, which was bizarre at the moment. Now we're going from gasoline cars to electric cars, which seems bizarre, but once it's widely adopted, it's going to be the norm. Right? So we're giving people an experience into the future where they don't have to put up excess capital to have that experience. They can just book a car for a short period of time, get the experience, see if it's for them or not. And inevitably, it'll be for everybody because it's going to be the future.
That's called a rental. Right.
Well, let me ask you this.
Huh?
When, how do they find you?
So we have Instagram. We are working on Instagram page. We have website. We have our business cards. Mostly we're using Turo app, Turo application, you know.
Yeah, Turo for us though is gonna be our main source of income right now, but we're trying to stay away from Turo because Turo is a very competitive market where the people that are shopping on Turo are not really considering the experience, they're just considering the price, right?
That's
So we
exactly
want,
it.
yeah, we want to cater to a more premium client that's not considering the price as much, but considering the experience and the service that they get along with the car. So we're also targeting, our main business we've been doing for 20 years is car lifts, and all
It's
those
what? I'm sorry?
car lifts, parking stackers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we've been doing that for 20 years here in South Florida. We have good relationships with all the high-end hotels, the Ritz-Carltons, the Aqualinas, the Turnberries, the Fontainebleaus, the Eden Rocks. So we have good relationships with all these hotels. So we're leveraging those relationships with the concierge services to promote our service to their patrons of their hotels, their condos, their apartments, their Airbnbs. And the people that patronize these places, they're less price sensitive and they're more concerned with their time. So they want to be efficient with time.
Exactly. I want you to send me, Bruce, some information about the car lifts. I get a lot of requests for that, and I have no place to go for that. So you just fill the niche for us, and we can
I won't
send it out
forget.
to our folks. So send me some info on that. And you can sell that anywhere in the country, right?
Our territory is Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, but yeah, there's different reps for different territories.
Okay, cool. Good. Yeah, send me as much information as you can. All right. Because of the fact that everything is printed rental, it's going to say rental.
I know. I'm ready crossing it all out and writing. Thank you, David.
I love it. I love it.
Okay.
David's going to talk about the rental market for now, so that you get an idea what it is in the airport. But let me ask you one more thing. The experience, they call you and they make a reservation. What do you do next? Without,
So one thing, I'll let
I'm the customer, I just booked
Amanda-
a reservation.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let Indra talk about that.
Okay, so we try to give as much information as we can. We ask to have insurance, and we have to make sure that the insurance company will cover the rental car. Then if they are okay with the prices and with dates, we invite them to the office. We show the car, we take a copy of their driver's license. We make sure they have insurance, or we offer them Alliance travel insurance to cover those days. And then we actually teach them for a while in the car how to drive electric vehicle. Sometimes it takes up to 20 minutes because so many people haven't ever tried to drive Tesla. Yes, and then we are trying to communicate with them. Whatever help they need, they can always contact us, they can call us. So that's the process, yes.
And you do a walk around, marking down the dings and dents and so on?
Yes, we have a form of the flat vehicle picture image, and we are marking all dents, all scratches, we're taking pictures.
Okay.
Turo is convenient because you can upload the picture, but outside of Turo, we are taking pictures by ourselves.
Okay, good. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about the industry today, and I'm going to turn it over to David. We're going to do a couple of things. We're going to compare what people think about the rental car business, including your banker, your, how should I say, your banker, your attorney, your accountant, okay? They think, and candidly, when you say I'm in the rental car business or I'm renting cars or booking, they see airports, lots of cars, lines of people, and they go, nah, we're not into that business. So what you're going to do today, we're going to talk to you about educating those folks and the difference between what you're doing and what Hertz, Avis, and Budget do. So, and how to get away from Turo. David, you want to start with the
Yeah,
industry
sure.
today?
All right, let's go down. What we're going to talk about is the overall industry. First
Sorry,
of all,
quick question, David. So the goal right now is to be able to paint a positive perception to these people that we're talking about, bankers, attorneys, and accountants.
Of course,
right.
of what your market is.
Right.
Not- See, they look at the market and they see this airport operations and
Right.
that's what they
That's their
know.
current, yeah, that's their current perception, and they
Right.
want to.
Right.
And you want to know something about that.
You need to
because they're
answer
gonna
the
ask
questions, right?
They're going to ask you questions. And they're going to expect that you understand the industry that you're in. Whether you call it rental or booking, they call it rental, you call it booking. And they want to know that you understand what the competition is doing. They don't understand that all you're doing is electric cars. You're going to have to teach them that. But they do understand everybody rents electric cars. You're not alone. All right. And so they're going to want to know a little information. Let's take a look at the top operators. Your top operator, of course, is Enterprise Rent-A-Car. They're the biggest in the country. All right. Now, how did they start? The Enterprise was started by a man named Andy Taylor, who served as an officer aboard the USS Enterprise, the ship. When the ship would come in, the sailors would want to get off the boat and go rent a car and go around town, and nobody would rent to them. So he bought 5 cars, he put them at the base, got permission, and when the ship docked, he would rent the cars to the sailors himself. In the process of doing that, he saw that there was an underserved market, insurance replacement. We're going to get into that a little bit more with you later. Insurance replacement is when you smack up your car and it goes into the shop for repair, and the insurance company is going to pay for a replacement. All right. And it was underserved. Nobody wanted to do it. It was cheap. It was labor intensive. You got to deliver the car, pick up the car. Nobody wanted to do it. So he jumped in and went into that market. He grabbed that whole market. And in servicing the Navy bases and the insurance replacement business, Enterprise became the largest car rental company in the country, which always was Hertz. Hertz was always number 1. All right, so anyhow, Hertz had a fit, and they saw what happened in the local market. This is the key. From 5 cars to the biggest car rental in the country in the local market. Your market, okay? Not airports. All right, so anyhow, Hertz saw that. Hertz started opening up some local market stores under the term HLE. Enterprise said, okay, Fred, if you're going to jump into my sandbox in the local market, I'm going to jump in your sandbox in the airport market. And Enterprise started bidding airport locations. All right, you're going to run into the bankers that know Enterprise, but they don't know that Enterprise is the biggest in the country. They might still think it's Hertz. Okay, so anyhow, Enterprise said, okay, we've got now the airports, they're still number 1. Hertz said, all right, we're gonna come after you. We're gonna go buy the competition, and they bought Dollar and Thrifty. which were the fifth and sixth largest companies at the time. Well, Enterprise said, okay, if you're going to play that game, we're going to do it. And they went out and bought Alamo and National. So they stayed in their number one spot and stretched it out substantially. So now it's pretty much set. But remember, Enterprise owns Alamo and National. Hertz owns Dollar and Thrifty. Hertz is number two. I think they're still number two, but remember, they just came out of bankruptcy. So understand that Hertz was in bankruptcy last year and the first part of this year. They've just come out of bankruptcy. Where they are at right now, as far as cars and locations, I'm not sure. Okay, then you've got Avis, which purchased Budget to try to stay up with the bunch. 350,000 cars. But I also want you to take a look at the top again. Enterprise, 1,100,000 cars, guys. 6,000 locations. And there's a meaning to this we'll get into later. I want you just to remember that number. Hertz, 430,000 cars. Avis, 350,000 cars. Okay, now you got Sixt, which is a German company. You will rent from us and you will like it. And they rent the upper end cars. The shopping that I've done, they are really big on BMWs now. From time to time, they do have a Tesla or two. All the big companies have played with Tesla. Sixt is also Mercedes and Volvo. 18,000 cars, you're going to see them around town. They are in Miami. All right. And their rates are substantially lower than you might think, because one way or another, they are subsidized by the factories. Okay, now you got a couple of associations, Fox and Ace. These are associations. They're not really standalone car rental companies. We'll talk about associations a little later, but they're substantial. So 18,000 cars, 18,000 cars with Fox. Ace is 9,000. Then you got USAVE Auto Rental, which is a franchise organization. They only run one corporate store now. 5,500 cars. My most recent actual job was as vice president of USAVE Auto Rental. And prior to that, I was the vice president of Dollar Rent-A-Car. When I left USAVE, we had 12,000 cars and 413 locations. So USAVE has really been a hit with some management issues. Then you got Priceless and NextCar, which is an outcropping from Rent-A-Wreck. Rent-A-Wreck, I think, owns both of them. Rent-A-Wreck is also a franchise company. And then you got Independence, 42,000 cars in service with Independence. 4,200 locations with Independence around the country. All right, so that's the stack up. Now, how do you stack up? Where do you fit? You're going to fit in the bottom, into Independence. That are us, okay? And you're not going to try to run 1,100,000 cars, all right? You're not in the airport market, although do you intend to go into the airport market at all?
No, we have a really grand plan to partner with the Tesla service centers, kind of in the vein of what you talked about when the car goes into a body shop.
Yeah, you got 2 of them there in Miami, yeah.
Yeah, so, well, there's actually 11. There's 11 in Florida total, but yeah, 2 in Tri-County. And we're working on partnering with them to be their preferred rental company when, or booking, I'm sorry, booking.
I'm sorry,
company-
booking company, yeah.
Yeah, you got me on that one. Booking company, when people bring their cars in for service.
Absolutely. Good
Yeah,
for
so that
you.
way- Yeah, thank you. So that way they don't have to offer loaner cars. They can just offer our booking service.
Ah, it's not a loaner car, it's a booking car.
There you go.
We're gonna beat each other up on this for a couple of days.
I look forward to it.
Okay, good for you, so do I. All right, coming down. There's been talk now, this is all skewered, but there was talk that the industry was going to get beat up by Uber because they misunderstood what Uber was. Uber is a taxi company. It's not a rental company. And yes, it beat up the taxi business, I'll tell you, but didn't beat us up too much. We showed tremendous growth through the Uber period. Then came along Turo. And everybody thought, well, Turo is the new experience and it's going to beat up the car rental industry. Well, it didn't. The car rental industry grew substantially through the Turo period. And I'm saying Turo period, that was the time that they got their growth. And we're trying to figure out who they were and how they operated, et cetera. And we'll get to them later. All right, but we grew substantially through that period. The only thing that beat up the car rental industry, and the banker might ask you, how were you affected by the virus? Well, there was a 27% drop in total revenue in the car rental industry through the early virus period. Why? Because of the airline industry. People wouldn't fly. Remember, the majority of the car rental business is at the airport, or at least people think it is. And so when the airport market gets hit, the car rental industry gets hit. And so it dropped 27%. The revenue per unit, this is the average income per car per month for the big boys and for the industry, was running at $1,174. That's revenue per car per month. Yours should be 5-6 times that. And it dropped to $975. All right. And of course, that's primarily the pandemic. Now, what's happening? They downfleeted for the winter when COVID hit. All right. Then when they went to upfleet for the following season, when it looked like things were getting better about 4 months ago, they couldn't get cars. The factories can't get the chips to build the cars. They're not delivering the cars. The industry, which was downfleeted, couldn't get cars to upfleet. So we had more customers than cars, starting what, May, June? And what happened? Rates went through the roof. $400 a day for a compact car in Honolulu. And this was all over the country. All right, but here's an interesting thing. Okay, so now the interesting thing is, before I get any further, what happened to the local market? Because remember, we were talking about the airport guys, the big boys. They caused the 20% drop, 27% drop, but you got the other market, the local market. What happened? It went through the roof. Our business got busy, all right? In the local market, people started renting cars because they didn't want to get into carpools anymore. They didn't want to get into buses. They didn't want to get into taxi cabs where they don't know the health history of the taxi driver. They didn't want to get in a Uber car. So they rented a car, they detoxified it, and our business got busy. Now let's back up just a bit. maybe I'm taking too much time. What is the independent operator profile? Based on the information that we've been able to get in the industry, the average number of units with an independent operator is 10. The average revenue per month per car is $1,012. That means they're doing $10,000 a month, $121,000 a year. But let's talk about that. What is an independent operator? That could be, and it is anybody who has got a name, a business name registered as a rental car company. So that could be a body shop that has 2 cars and they call it Jack's Auto Rental to have a separate corporation from the main business. And it could be 5 cars at a car dealership, used car dealership. It could also be 1,200 cars at a full freestanding car rental location like Triangle. Triangle in the Carolinas and Georgia was running 1,200 cars, run by a man named Frank Kalana, who started that business and built that business all by himself up to 1,200 cars. A couple of years ago, he came down with cancer. He sold the business to Enterprise, and a year later, he passed away. But the point of it is, he went from 0 to 1,200 cars in the local market because nobody told him he couldn't do it. So he's in there too, or he was in there too. So it's
Do we know how much he sold it for?
I have no idea what he sold it for, but it was substantial.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So anyhow, that is your local market there. That's your local guy. That's the average, but that's not you. You're already well over the average. All right. But the point is, when we're talking to our banker, when we're talking to our lawyer, we are not an airport operator. We're not running 1,000 cars. We're running 25 cars. We're selling an experience. We're selling a booking. All right. We are different. We're selling the future, as you call it, the electric car. It's a good business because your future is going to take about 25 years to mature. And this is my opinion from everything I'm reading. As fast as electric cars are going to come on us, their market penetration is not going to be very high for quite some time. Why? There's not enough charging stations. For example, California, and I'm off topic here, so if I bore you, let me know. One of the issues they have in California, my daughter has a Tesla, by the way, and I have stock in Tesla. So I'm pro Tesla. One of the issues they're having is they cannot build enough charging stations in California, to service the existing number of Teslas in the state, and the state cannot produce enough power to power anymore. So they got themselves in a conundrum. All right.
That's why Biden and the team getting the money printer out for the infrastructure bill.
Yeah, there you go. Well,
Well,
it's going to take the last I heard was the power companies say they need, or the electric industry said they need 230,000 charging stations to service the existing number of electric cars in the California market.
David,
Yep.
it's not
Yeah,
too
and the other
different than what,
in
it's not too
terms
different
of-
than what Bruce was talking about. when we went from horse and carriage to the horseless carriage.
That's right,
Because the
absolutely.
horseless carriage, we didn't have any roads that they could go on.
That's
And
right,
the infrastructure had to catch up, and there were no gas stations. You
That's
used to
right.
Buy your gasoline at the hardware store.
that's
by the
right,
quart.
that's right.
And so it'll all catch up, assuming that the foothold does go to electric cars.
Absolutely. And
but
this,
it's gonna
but
take
this was
time.
this was the point I was trying to make, poorly, is that this is the future. This is where we're going. And in a certain number of time, all cars will be electric. However, the gas guzzling, internal combustion engine car is going to be around for, they say, about 25 years before we have, a high market penetration. So the future's there.
Yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention in terms of painting a positive perception to the people we're talking about is the fact that we're only doing Teslas is these are the safest cars in the world, right? Just by the facts, by the metrics, by the different FSHA.
Right.
So we're using the safest cars in the world. There's virtually no maintenance on them because there's very little moving parts. So it's very environmentally friendly, as well as the appreciation is not comparable. The depreciation, I'm sorry, is not comparable to a gas car. They depreciate
right.
much less.
That's right.
So there's many advantages to having these electric cars from that perception.
Oh, I'm aware of that. I'm aware of the advantages.
Yeah.
I would like to, I'll probably get one myself if I'm still alive when they've got charging stations at Rock Hill. Okay, let's take a look at the airport location. I want you to take a look at the airport market. There's two segments in the industry: the airport segment, which is what we were talking about a little earlier, the big boys. That is not you, but I want you to understand them and take a look at this picture. These are the airport operators. Every baggage claim area in the country has got this, one right after another, side by side. This is where I'm from. And you talk competition, take a look at that. Now, how do they do business? They rely on high volume and reservations through the GDS systems. What are the GDS systems? That's Global Distribution System, Orbitz, Travelocity, Kayak, all of that. That's where they get their business. They're not out there marketing in your market. When was the last time you even saw an advertisement for Avis Rent-A-Car? They're not even marketing themselves anymore. They're strictly on the GDS systems. All right. And so, they have a revenue management department, and all they do is look on the GDS systems and watch the competitors' rates. But if you take a look at these counters side by side, I used to run Dollar Rent-A-Car. I was their VP for corporate operations, San Francisco, Los Angeles, et cetera, et cetera. And I walked into the airport one day and I walked up to my counter and the Hertz girl was running my counter, Dollar Rent-A-Car. So I asked her, I said, why are you here running my business? And she said, well, your rental agent had to go to the bathroom. So I covered for her because there were customers at the time. So I've got the Hertz people running my counter. They know our computer system. They knew the whole thing. They get so close to each other, they become friends. They'll quit one company, go to another. There's no secrets. Customers go up to each counter. What's your rate? What's your rate? Right up and down the counter. That is competition. All right. Now, they also have some very high costs. You don't care about that, but their costs are extreme. And the other thing I've noticed is that while they started messing around with Teslas some time ago, they pretty much have been giving up on it. Pretty much. Why? They don't have the infrastructure that they need. They've got the gas guzzling infrastructure, the gas pumps, the washing, et cetera. They don't have the charging. They can't have a car sitting for 45 minutes for a quick charge. All right. What does that do? That presents a market to you. All right. And if a customer wants to rent the future, a Tesla, Bert Davis National Budget Dollar can't service them. The business lands in your lap. All right. Okay, coming down. Any questions so far, guys?
No,
All right. I know this is not particularly exciting to you at this point in time, but you need to know the industry that you're in and what they're doing. Okay, the other thing is the airport has such high costs. They've got to operate 24 hours a day. That's a staff. They have to have vans to move the people from the airport to the car. They have to have the car storage locations, the cleanup locations, and so forth. They have to insure the airport along with themselves. It's just horrible. And they're going to be bidding about 20% or better of their revenue on rent to be in the airport. All right, you don't have to do that. You have access to the airport through Turo, right? And Turo is probably paying the airport 10% to give you access. Do you do any airport business through Turo?
Yes, a lot.
Yeah, okay. So now I'm not familiar with your airport, but you know, the airports have come down on Turo because of the fact that these guys in the airport are paying at least 20% rent and Turo's paying nothing and you're paying nothing. So airports all around the country have started an access fee to service Turo customers through their airport. And I don't know if they're charging at yours. I believe Turo has to pay. I don't know if they take that out of your commission or not, but that's something for you to watch.
And I'm sorry.
Pardon me?
Yes, that's what happened to us, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago. Me and Amanda went to the airport and we were waiting for a customer. We saw a customer, we gave him a car, and one lady from the airport, she said that you cannot do this anymore here by arrival area because you will get a fine, $40, $50
Right.
each car. You have to meet them in the parking lot. So that's something new, and they are going to find people
Yes.
like us.
Yeah, they are. So Turo, now I'm not going to speak for Turo. I'm just going to tell you what I've come
David?
across. Yeah,
One thing, boys and girls, you want to be careful of, because the airport can come in and demand your books from July or from January on and make you pay a percentage of every one of those rentals that you picked up at the airport.
that's right.
And what they're going to say and how they're going to do it is, we don't know which ones you picked up at the airport. So this is what you owe us for all those rentals. So be real careful.
Mhm.
Okay. And if you haven't got an agreement with the airport, you got to make sure you do. Because that lady that told you couldn't do that, probably, and I don't know if you guys have an agreement with the airport. If you don't, she probably didn't know it. And let's just let it die. Let that sleeping dog lie. But in reality, you have to have an agreement and certain insurance and so on to go to the airport.
Mhm.
Wow, but what if it's through Turo? And Turo allows us to meet them there.
Turo will, I'm going to tell you point blank, Turo doesn't care.
No,
Turo is a
Yeah,
booking
they could-
agent. That's
yeah.
all they are. And I
Yeah.
don't believe that they have permission to go on airports.
remember,
Because
they
they're going to
are,
leave it to you and make it your responsibility. So be careful. You
Okay,
might want to contact Turo and ask them, do you have permission for us to go
Absolutely.
in there and get it in writing?
Now,
Mhm.
remember,
Because that being
Turo-
the case, Turo would have to pay those fees, not you.
Right.
Mm.
now Turo's been sued all around the country. You might have seen some of it.
Wow.
They consider themselves a booking company. They don't consider themselves a car rental company. The courts, I believe it was California, the courts have determined that they are a car rental company because they're renting cars. It just so happens you own the car. All right. So that's, put pressure on them from airports, et cetera, et cetera. And like Jim says, they should be paying the access fee to the airport for their Turo operators, of which there's 50 Turo operators in Miami. I don't know that they're all going to the airport, but quite a number of them are. So watch that.
Okay, thank you.
All
And
right.
If you're staying under the radar and have been under the radar, stay there. Don't
Yeah,
open that door.
right. Right. Okay, so the airports, at the airport, the car rental companies are going to advertise the lowest rate they can, but they can't make money on that rate. So what do? On top of the rate, they add fees. And they're bogus fees, but they're fees, like a concession fee. What's that? That's rent. Rent. An access fee. What's that? That's rent. A license fee. What's that? That pays for their licensing for their cars. Recapture fees. All kinds of things. To top it off, many cities and some states have a special levy on car rental. All right, and that's usually designed to pay for road repairs, sports stadiums, or whatever. And that typically hits the airport operators. Sometimes those rent levies are statewide or citywide. And you want to watch, should the city come in and want to put a levy on you being in the rental business. They will see you in the rental business, not the booking business. All right, I don't know, do you have that now? Are you paying a special fee to
No.
the city? No?
That's a good question. Sorry.
Well,
Yes,
you want to take a look now, you might take a look at Enterprise Rent-A-Car in your area. Take a look at the fees that they're charging and see if they're charging a car rental fee
Surcharge.
or a
Is it-
surcharge.
Excuse me. Yes, yesterday our accountant found out that we should pay like $2 per day for the rental. She is asking me to ask you today to double check about that solid waste and surcharge return.
Right?
What you have to do, your tax number,
Yes,
okay? Your tax number, you want to be careful that it's set up for a rental car company and you're collecting the proper taxes, which would be the waste surcharge and the rental surcharge. And you need to be adding all of that to each rental and then forwarding it to the state. When someone goes in and says, I need a sales tax number, they just give you a sales tax number. They don't, and you can write down rent a Tesla, own a Tesla, it doesn't matter. They don't pay attention. Remember, they're clerks. But you need to get the proper sales tax and FIEN number for a rental car company, as well as your credit card processing has to be done with the proper, as a rental car company. Okay. And just giving them the name doesn't make you a rental car company. Okay. So, and there's other things that come along with that tax number. As a rental car company, you should not pay sales tax when you buy a car. And you should, because you're collecting the sales use tax every time you rent the car out. Did you pay sales tax on these cars?
No,
Good, good.
And you are collecting sales tax on the rental, right?
We just started.
What is it?
Sales tax, are we collecting? We
Yeah,
just started.
I was gonna ask, is the tax the same percentage
No,
as?
no, you wanna, that's why you wanna talk with the sales tax, you gotta make sure that you're set up properly. Most cities have a rental tax surcharge. I'll tell you what, hold on a second.
Bring this up because if you're not properly set up, you want to do it right away. Because you don't want them coming in, doing an audit and asking for a check to pay for the surcharge way back to 2018 when you opened. And they have the right to do that.
Mhm.
And so if they went to your books, they'd say, okay, you've done $2 million since 2018, we want 22% of it for the surcharge that you never collected. So watch for that.
I'm checking it right now, David, by looking at picking up a car in Miami.
You're doing that on another rental, what?
I'm doing it at Expedia, which is an airport operator.
Why does the state put that surcharge? I mean, what is the
Because they
reason?
can.
Because they can, yes, they were looking for tax money. And they saw us as a easy target. They had already hit the hotel industry. And they get away with it because most people and the government knows that the car rental customers are not from that city or state.
So they don't know they don't really know.
There's
The
no government representation for these people. You get me? They don't vote in Florida because they're from Minneapolis. All right, so the legislature didn't think twice about slapping the tax on us because most of the customers are from out of state and can't complain. And it's just passed through. So if we have to pay the state, we just add it onto the rental and the customer pays.
Yeah.
All right, so the legislature saw it as a very easy target and did it. There is one city, Phoenix, Arizona. When you rent a car there, there is a flat daily surcharge of $22 a day. Car rental surcharge. And so you gotta collect it. And if they have one and you've not collected it, you've been lucky so far. And if they do not have one in Miami, you are super lucky. So Jim is checking that out.
They got one. I'm gonna give you a laugh right now. Some, shall I say, untrained operator is renting cars for $17 a day. And he's out the door price is $33. Why?
Double the rental for fees.
Uh-huh. The rental fees. Let's see which ones are there. Taxes and fees, he's got a facility charge of $2. Can you guys see what I'm looking at?
No,
No,
No.
Okay. I'm gonna,
is there a percentage for each thing? Maybe is there a list?
Well,
yeah. Right here, okay, here we go. What you will have to pay
Oh, I don't see
is
it.
a state sales tax.
We don't see it.
I know you don't. Because I
Oh.
can't figure out how, it says if I stop share, let's see what happens. Okay, and now I'm gonna share my screen again. And let's see if it comes up.
There's somebody else.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, he's got a facility charge. You won't pay that because you're not there.
That's rent.
That's rent. Vehicle license fees, he's charging, you're not. Airport tax, picking up the car at the airport, he pays $3.19. You probably are supposed to as well. Vehicle licensing fee, he's got 2 surcharges there. Then there's the Florida state surcharge, which is $2 a day, which
There
you
you
need to
go.
be charging.
Florida State.
Yeah. And a state tax,
A vehicle recovery fee.
right. And that's his,
Okay.
yeah, you know, the crazy thing here is he's renting a car for $17 a day, but out the door it's $33.
Mhm.
And he's adding in rent. He's adding VLP, and there's no explanation what VLP is. He's putting in an airport tax, which you may have to pay, which looks like it's a percentage. There is a Florida state surcharge and sales tax. So right off the bat, you know you got to be charging the sales tax. And you need to be charging the Florida state surcharge. And you may have to be paying the airport tax if you're picking up at the airport. And because if you routinely pick up at the airport, you probably need to be charging that and sending it to the airport. Whoever helped you start in the very beginning should have warned you about the airport. But now we're warning you, so you know what? Don't open that door yet. Go forward like you just started today.
That's right.
All right?
Yeah, we kind of started on our own. We don't know anything about.
Don't let anybody come in and go back to the day you started.
No.
You started today.
Yep. So you want to have your accountant find out, make sure your taxes are set up as a rental car company. And that your accountant, and she can do, or he can do this online without having to alert anybody. Okay? And I'm not telling you how to do it illegally. I'm just telling you that they know what to do, let them handle it. They may tell you that you got to pay back to when you first started. So be careful. And do it all up and above board, because if they come in after you,
That's bad.
I don't wanna say that.
I've been there,
yeah,
and they'll come back and they will want to look at the very first transaction you ever had, and they're gonna charge you tax all the way up to
all
that
the way
day.
back. If you were picking up at the airport back then, you may have just started picking up at the airport yesterday.
Mhm.
I don't know.
This is first thing. We're starting tomorrow.
Today was the
Starting
first
tomorrow.
day.
I like that.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to go back to screen sharing. Let me bring this up. Screen sharing window is closed. We want to bring this back. This back. Welcome back. There we go. And screen share.
You know, it's funny that you should mention that. There's a company that I'm aware of that rents cars, and it's one of the big ones, but they have a subsidiary that's off site, not at the airport. And they'll
Right.
pick the airport, and they're not charging airport tax, because I used to use them when I didn't live in Miami.
Right.
They would downtown to pick me up at the airport and back, and the big deal was you were saving airport tax.
right?
So they're actually doing it illegally on purpose.
Yep. And, you know, you gotta be careful. This is the city and the county. All right,
Okay. Local market, so they have these horrible fees. You just saw a nice list of them. Local market, here was a picture of Triangle, which I told you was the 1,200 car location. Nicely set up, beautiful location. You see how he parks his cars with the rent me sign on the front. All right, this is the local market. This is something that you can show a banker or a lawyer. This is the market we're in, not the airport market. All right, we are not gonna have hundreds of cars. We have maybe 24, which means we need parking for about 20%. So we're gonna need parking for 5 or 6 cars. And that's about all. If you should try to open up another location, and for some reason you run into a zoning problem because the location is not zoned for car rental, all right, you're going to have to talk to the city that zoning commission and say, look, we are not enterprise. We're not running hundreds of cars. We need parking for 5 cars at a nice storefront location, and that's all. All right. Okay, now remember, you don't have access to the GDS systems because you're in the local market, and the GDS systems are designed for the airport market. So you're going to have to get out there and market the product yourself. Now, you've done a pretty good job if you built up to 24 cars. Now, when did you start renting again? Or booking, I'm sorry? When
We
did you?
bought our first car in September of last year, but we actually started our first rental in January.
Oh, okay, so you've been in business about 9 months.
Yeah.
We have a baby.
Ah, okay, I got something all wrong there. I thought 2018. Okay. All right, 9, you're about due now then, right?
Yeah, we're due.
Okay, you're due to grow now, but you've done well, 24 cars in 9 months. Okay, so anyhow, you're gonna have to do your own marketing. We're gonna be spending a lot of time on that later on in the program. It's very interesting, and everybody enjoys it. But you're part of the community. The customers are not going to just come to you. You got to go out and get them. And in your market, what I'm saying, which is a follow-up to what I said before, you have a product that the big boys don't seem to be pushing. You have a product that is, as you say, the future. You have a product everybody's interested in. You have a product that there's probably the market for that product today is probably 10 times what the sales look like, because the people have a big interest in the product, but they're not ready to buy. All right. So if they're not ready to buy, you've already got it. If they're not ready to buy, maybe they're ready to book. And I pulled up your website, and it's a beautiful website, hard to use, but a good website. And try before you buy. Beautiful. All right, because that's what a lot of the car rental business used to be in the local market. I want to rent a Ford because I'm thinking of buying one. I've been a Chevy guy all my life. We used to get a lot of that. Okay, so you want to understand the difference between the 2 segments. You want to understand your market niche. You want to understand you have to go get the market you can't get on the local GDS systems. And because one thing, you don't have to compete with the airport market. However, they aren't offering your product. So it's you just don't have the same issues that you would if you were in another with another product. Okay, coming down. Any questions so far, guys?
No,
All right. Have we bored you to death?
no.
I just got here.
Okay, now, franchise or independent, you're gonna be out there looking for business. There are possibilities to, other possibilities to bring business to you, because you can't get the GDS systems. You could buy a franchise, which might be through USAVE, Payless, or Rent-A-Wreck, maybe even Sensible. What would the franchise do? The only benefit that you're gonna find in a franchise, other than what you can get through us, is the trade name. All right, now, for that, you're going to pay right around $20,000 for the rights to use the name. You're gonna have to follow the rules. You're going to have to use their sign for $5,000, their software program for $5,000. You're gonna pay an 8% royalty on every dollar that walks through the door. And for reservations, they're gonna put you on their website, their reservation center, and they will do what they can with no effort at all on their part to generate reservations for you. And you're gonna pay about $13 per reservation. All right, so is it a benefit? I don't know. We were doing this back in USAVE. Our issue was that customers who want to rent a car in Miami, in order to see USAVE, would have to go to USAVE. And nobody thinks of doing that. They just go Car Rental Miami. All right, so we were spending a bunch trying to get the USAVE name to pop up. All right, what they're doing now, I haven't seen a whole lot of improvement. But that would be the benefit if you think you want to operate under one of their names. It is extremely expensive. And like I say, the trade name is the only thing they have to offer. I think Rent a Tesla is just as good a trade name. Yes, sir.
One thing that I would mention that can help you guys. expressrentacar.com. And I will send you a link. Express Rent a Car has their own booking agent. Okay. And it is a website that goes out worldwide. And Stan Levy and his daughter Robin have built this up over the last 16 years. And they do put you on their website, and they will put you on Kayak. Okay. And I think carrentals.com. So I'll send you the information for that. And that goes out worldwide.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, coming down.
But remember, airport issues. Okay. All right, next.
All right, coming down, these are things that might help you generate business, a franchise if you wish. Be aware of the expense. If you are interested in acquiring a franchise, let us know. We'll guide you to the right person, the right company that will treat you well and at least be honest. There are also independent associations for independent operators. Mabel's and Smiling Jim's there. Top operators, but
Oh,
there
yeah.
are three: Ace, Economy, and Fox. Economy is primarily for airport operators. You want to take a look at Ace or Fox, and of course, Car Rental Express. But these are associations. You would pay a fee somewhere around $1,000 or less to join the association. They'll put you on their website and do what they can passively to provide reservations for your business. You'll pay a reservation fee. It's not substantial, but you'll pay a reservation fee. All right, but it is other sources. Okay. No reason you can't be on a bunch. All right. But with the association now, you're going to have to identify your business as the association member. So you're going to have a sign somewhere on the property saying you are Ace Rent-A-Car or you are Fox Rent-A-Car. All right. And you can be Rent-A-Tesla, an affiliate of Fox, but the Fox sign has to be on the building somewhere. Okay, questions? Coming down. What's new? Well, you know, this isn't new anymore, but rental car sharing. I saw on Turo's website last night or this morning, I forget which, they now call themselves a sharing company. And I thought that was quite interesting. So now they call themselves car sharing. That really isn't what car sharing is. Car sharing came from the condo timeshare business, where they would sell 65 weeks use of a condo and take the money and run. And but in time sharing, you would have, let's say, 52 weeks of a particular property available for you to purchase 1 week or 2 or whatever you wished. And if it was by the week, you might have 52 buyers of that condo. And that's what it was. The company that started it in our business was Zipcar. I don't know if you've heard of Zipcar. All right, now all of this history we're giving you guys is stuff that people are going to expect you to know because you're in this industry. All right, so Zipcar.
Oh, David,
Yeah.
Inga? Am I
Yes.
saying it right, Inga?
No, but it's okay. Indra.
Inja.
Yes.
Are you there alone?
No, I
Okay.
have Junior and Carl.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
here.
okay. Because we're just a little over an hour already. And I don't know if you guys need a break. And usually at the 1 hour point, I say, smoke them if you got them. We'll see you in 5 minutes.
No, I think we're good.
You're good?
Maybe they want a break.
You guys need a break?
It's okay.
Yeah, let's take a 5 minute. I gotta use the bathroom.
Yeah.
You got
Okay.
5 minutes. We'll see you back.
All
Okay.
right, 11:20. Yep.
Let's see, we just need to finish this up. And then we go to insurance and that takes care of the first session, right?
Yeah, it really does. So we're doing well.
Yeah, okay.
I am listening, just so y'all know. I'm here.
Okay, I'll be back.
Keisha's getting ready to leave to go pick up the mother-in-law.
Cool.
Yeah. I got no sleep last night, Jim.
How come?
I don't know. I got no clue. Just couldn't sleep. I was like, man, I didn't think I was worried about anything. I just couldn't sleep last night. You know?
Ugly.
Yeah. I like the whole working from home piece,
Yeah.
but the part I miss is that, you remember, I used to be able to come into the office and sit down with you, say, yo, man, Jim, this is what's on my mind.
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It's a little different on Zoom, you know what I mean?
It sure is.
Yeah, I can sit down and be, hey, Jim, this what's been on my mind, man. Let me talk to you real quick. Yeah. But all is well. All is well.
Cool.
Now you have to do the second part to that, right? So you have to go in and order those.
Right.
Yeah, right. Okay, gotcha. Ooh.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna step out for just a heartbeat as well.
I see David when he got his coffee.
Yeah, that's where I'm headed.
Oh, we're taking a break.
Hey, Barry,
Yes,
while I got you here, do you still have the link for finance?
for the for
The
you said for
finance guys that have never come through?
yeah, I do have it somewhere. Yeah.
Um,
You're not talking about the one I highlighted and sent back to you, are you?
I don't remember the company's name,
Okay.
but yeah, when we get done with this, I want to talk to you. Have you send another one?
Okay, gotcha.
Critter test was not on act yet.
Didn't I put it on?
I can't find it.
Okay, we'll get it in today. Boy, the Russians are all over our website.
What's that?
The Russians, they're all over our website trying to get in.
Oh, okay.
One
Okay,
second.
we're ready to
Good to
go.
go?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay, ready.
Excellent.
All right, let's finish up on car sharing. Again, from the timeshare business, Zipcar was the company that was doing it. Now, what's the concept? The concept was simple. They would take a car and place it at a business park or a building. Place another one at a university, place another one at a gas station or whatever. You would sign up for the service. They would run your credit card, etc., and give you a code. And the cars were accessed through the code. And you would go down to where the car is, access the car, drive it for an hour or so, park the car, go away, and then you would be billed for the time you use the car. And that is sharing because a number of different people would be using the same car. Let's say if it was at a building, a business building. All right, and they built up quite a business. The problem is they never made money. And so Hertz bought Zipcar primarily because they thought it was a coming market and they wanted to beat Enterprise to the market. Well, the problem is they lost an absolute fortune in Zipcar. And what was the problem? The problem was that with that concept, there was nobody preparing the car for a rental. When a rental came back, there was nobody checking the car for damages or cleaning up the car for the next rental. All right. And so because of that, the cars were in such bad shape when Hertz tried to sell some off and bring in new ones that they couldn't get anywhere near what they had paid for the cars. So they lost millions. The other thing that happened is that it included a gas card. So you could use the gas card to gas up your Zipcar at any station that accepted the card. So what would they do? They would gas up the car. Excuse me, they would bring in grandpa's car and gas it up, grandma's car and gas it up. They'd bring in the boat and gas it up and the RV and they gas it up. And then they would call Zipcar and say, we lost our gas card last night. And so Zipcar was taking these losses on the gas on top of the poor condition of the cars. Customers were complaining about the condition of the cars, and Zipcar's answer was, take $10 off the next usage. And it worked out to about 18 bucks an hour. Okay, so anyhow, Hertz had to restate their financials for 3 years because of this. And Hertz, of course, was a public company, so their stock dropped like 30% in one day. But it's just typical of Hertz mismanagement. And of course, you know, they just came out of bankruptcy for the 3rd time in their history. Okay, so that's the business. You don't want to get into that. If you do, you certainly can take a Tesla and start selling memberships to use Share the Tesla. All right, and it's as long as you know the car rental business, you know how to operate it. People are coming to your location to pick up the car and return the car. You can have a little fun with car sharing. We don't suggest it, but you can do it. Okay, non-owned vehicles, peer-to-peer. Renting non-owned vehicles is a new concept, not anymore. It is Turo. And companies like Turo, but Turo has taken over the business. It is peer-to-peer, where I take Jayden's car and I rent it to Alice. And in the middle, I'm going to take a commission. Now, what I want you to understand about Turo, and you've been using Turo, so you understand a bit about it yourself. But here's the issue, and we talk to a lot of Turo people, probably 5 a week. I think the last 3 we trained were also Turo people. Here's the issue. When you are using Turo, you're not in the car rental business. You're in the loaning business. You are loaning your car to Turo to rent to someone else. They're collecting the money. They're qualifying the customer. They're collecting the tax, and they're paying you less their commission. If they're providing you providing the insurance, they're taking a 35% commission or so, and they're providing all the insurance, which is what you should be doing. All right. Can we go back up a little? No, doesn't matter. All right, but I want you to understand this. You are not in the car rental business when you are loaning them cars, and they never intended that you would run a business on their platform. That was not the intention. The intention of Turo was to take your Mercedes that you're parking at the airport for a 4-day trip and rent it to someone who's coming in to that airport for a 4-day trip. All right. Or taking your Ferrari that sits 4 days a week and renting it to someone else for 4 days to help you make your monthly payment. The entire design of Turo was very simply to help you make your monthly payment on that car. They never had a concept of you trying to run a business on their platform. And they never had a concept of dealing with a rental car company or a booking company on their platform. Their platform was strictly to take Jayden's Maserati and rent it to Frank for a couple of days. Make a monthly payment. That was it.
David, hello,
Yeah.
David. If you give me a second, Amanda just came back. He said something really important. If you're on Turo, you're not in the rental car business.
Yeah.
You're in the loaning business.
No.
The rental company is Turo. They're taking the money, they're vetting the customers, they're doing the advertising, they're doing everything.
Right. When you are with Turo. All right. Now this is a little bit before where you're at now. When all you're doing is using Turo, you are not in the car rental business. You are in the business of loaning your car to Turo to rent. They're doing everything. All you're doing is hooking up your car and the customer. That's it.
We started with Turo to get our
The
name
point, let me finish the point, Jen. But when you start renting yourself directly to a customer, you are now in the car rental business. Now you have to have licenses. You have to prepare for taxes. You have to be able to take credit cards. You have to have a facility. You have to have insurance. You didn't have to have any of that when
That's
you
why-
were Turo alone.
That's why Ed recommended that you guys get with us, so we can walk you through those steps. Now, yes, you
Yeah.
did a great thing by getting your name out there. Nothing wrong with what you did.
No,
Okay, we're not saying that, oh, how stupid. No, that's not the case. If anything, great job. Because you guys have done, a really good job building it up to 25 cars. That's great. And actually building it on a platform that's not designed to do that. Now, the other thing about, Turo is they now have, a business side, of the platform instead of the personal side, so that you can actually use them as a booking agent.
Yeah.
So if you're going to continue with them, you want to go and change it to the business side. But here's the issue that you got to do to get on the business side of their platform. You have to, your insurance company has to name, Turo as an additional insured.
Yeah, I think I looked into that. They were gonna take only about 2% of the trip, but what they were giving us, they weren't gonna help us with any claims, they weren't gonna help us with any reimbursement, so I just said, forget about it.
Yeah.
Right now,
Yeah,
10%.
because on the personal side, they do that, okay?
yeah,
But when you go to the business side, you do it all,
Right,
okay? So you wanna, that's why you're here, so we can divorce you from having someone else run your business for you. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So no, good job
Alright.
getting 25 cars out there. How many cars you got on rent right now?
well, we're doing our photo shoot right now, so we had to put them unavailable, actually.
Yeah,
But this weekend, all of them were gone.
good, good. So you guys are doing a great job.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, we're actually starting to rent outside of Turo more.
good.
Yeah, and I actually tell them, would you like to rent with us? If you rent with us, it'll be cheaper.
Now,
okay.
and we'll talk about that. I want to see what you're doing with that and so on.
Recording.
David, you want to finish up with virtual rent-a-car?
Yeah, so now here we come with virtual. We call this brick virtual, but for some time now, we've been getting a lot of people who intend to rent their BMW out of their dorm room for a couple of days. Or out of their garage or out of their bedroom. They want to do it entirely on the internet. They don't want any customer contact whatsoever. All right. They think they're going to develop their own IT for that. They think they're ahead of the game. They think the car rental industry is backward and they're going to take it into a new age. The technology for that is old. Every software company today has that technology. If you want to rent contactless, it's there. All right. There are problems with that I think you probably don't have or you have already figured out. But number one, you've got to verify the information. Is the driver's license number that he put on the application correct? Is his age correct? Is the credit card correct? when they come to pick up the car, is that the same person that you rented to online? And you can do this online. This is not new. All right, but the point of it is, it's not the same guy. Airbnb, have you heard of Airbnb? They
Yes.
rent properties around the country. They are a booking agent. They've had a lot of problem with this. They will book a high-end property for somebody, all right, that qualifies beautifully, pays in advance. However, that is not the person who actually takes possession of the property. The person who shows up on the property is the 18-year-old son and all of his friends and a keg of beer, and they're gonna party, and they completely trash out the property. All right, and this is also where they rent a car online. All right, and arrange to pick up the car at a certain spot at a certain time and use the code to access the car or the key, which will be under the mat. And the problem is that the car is picked up and gone, and then the customer who rented the car or booked the car online calls and said, I went to pick up the car and it's gone. What do you mean it's gone? Yeah, it's gone. You told me where to pick up the car. I'm standing right here. It's gone. Why? Because he kicked it over. He was a shill renter who got the information, kicked it over to someone else who stole the car. All right. So I'm not trying to scare you, but I want you to understand, and we're going to get into this a little bit more. If you intend to do contactless rental over the internet or the iPad or your iPhone, where you never contact the customer and you have the customer pick up a car at a remote location or time when you're not there, be very cautious, because this is where there's a lot of fraud. Okay. Now we know about all of that. You are no longer in the loaning business, Turturro. You are now in the car rental or booking business, and you need to be set up properly to do it. And Jim will handle that. Any questions on what we've already covered, though? Anybody have any courage to ask a question?
No questions yet.
Okay.
I have a question. Have any of you thought about calling the mafia and having David and I hit?
We're on the way.
Okay, I'll watch for the Canadian plates. I'm going to take you back to beginning, to square one. Because I want to make sure, we talked a couple of things about taxes and so on. I want to go back to the very beginning so that you can make notes of things that you may need to adjust to be a standalone rental car company. And here are some suggestions. First of all, a corporation and a DBA. You already have a corporation, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and the corporate name is?
Try a Tesla.
Try a Tesla?
Maybe try Tesla, Inc.
Inc. Yeah, try a Tesla.
Okay,
Excuse me, just a second. Has Tesla approved your using their name in your corporate name?
Since the first day we started, we're in communication with them. They're deeply aware of what we're doing. They're very supportive.
No, it's not that they're aware. Have they approved?
We don't have anything in writing that I'm aware of that says,
You see, if you tried to set up a company, Trial Ford, they'd slap you down pretty hard.
I'm sorry, what? To set up a what?
If you tried.
Oh, yeah,
If you came up with a company name, try a Ford,
right,
they would have every right to come in and slap you around because
Right.
that's unauthorized use of a trade name.
right.
So you can use the trade name in the rental business. However, when you're using someone else's trade name in your corporate name, you typically need to get approval. What I'm bringing it up for, I don't want to beat you up. I don't want to nitpick. What I'm saying is I've had this issue in the past. What I'm suggesting is that you might fish into this before you get into business too long. Because if they come in and complain, you'll have to change the name. And you don't want to do that 10 years after you've built up that name. You get me?
Have you, you
That's
should
all.
get with your attorney.
I'll shut up now.
You should get with your attorney. Your corporate name could be Jaden Inja. Did I say that right? I'm still struggling. And,
It's a-
and Inga. And, no. It's gonna be J.N. Bruce Incorporated. How'd I do? And doing business as Try a Tesla.
If I may,
Yeah.
the corporate name is Try Tesla Inc.
I
And
understand.
for over a year, we bought 24, 25 Teslas from Tesla Corporation.
Mhm.
And we've been in communication with them for 12 months. I mean, there's a precedent.
There's a
for-
precedence there. So you're probably okay. You're
But I
probably
agree.
okay.
It'd be great to have some kind of endorsement from Tesla that, you know, their preferred supplier of, you know, loaner cars, whatever, so that it strengthens the relationship and we won't have a problem. But we have at least 24 invoices or 25 invoices from Tesla to Try a Tesla. They've never had a problem
Oh,
with us.
then you're fine. You're fine. Make sure, where are we here? Tax number. Your sales tax, you already set that up or are you in the process of setting it up now?
Oh, no, yeah.
Sales tax to the rental
Yeah,
cost or what?
To the state.
for the rental entity.
Yeah, we have FBI.
You have an
Tax-
FEIN number. That's, but I'm talking, that's your tax number for the IRS. Do you have your sales tax? We talked briefly before. You need to make sure that your sales tax is set up as a rental entity.
Right now, I'm just putting 7%.
Yes, which is not right. You want to make sure that, and let me back up. Are you already charging the 7% on people that are renting from you?
Yes,
Okay. And the people that are renting through Turo, who's collecting that sales tax?
so Turo charges the person X and whatever they charge, so like, let's say the car price for the day is 150. They'll
Right.
probably give them 150 plus tax, plus trip fees, plus whatever. So we'll get 150 minus 10%. Because Turo takes 10% away from us.
That's okay.
Charging them maybe $200, we're getting 150 minus 10%.
Okay. And they're sending the sales tax, they're paying the sales tax.
I'm not sure how that works.
Okay, we want to, because you're moving away from that, that's a good thing, because we don't know. All right.
Yeah,
So we're gonna have, are you now
Yeah.
in the process of setting up your sales tax?
No, we have it already.
You've had it
Yeah, we
since
have-
January. Okay. Have your accountant contact the sales tax bureau and make sure that you're set up starting today, okay, as a rental car company, so that you're collecting the proper amount of sales tax that has to be sent to the state. And there are specific sales taxes that as a rental car company, you have to charge. Either county or state. And or if you're close enough to an airport fee. And these are fees that you add on to the rental agreement.
Let me ask you something. You said
Yes, sir.
something different right now. You said if you're close enough to an airport, is it if you're picking up somebody from the airport, or do you have to be close enough to the airport?
Both. It all depends. Every airport is slightly different. So if you're within what they call the airport zone, then you have to charge the surcharge, which is
Oh.
$2.
Right.
But even if you pick them up in the garage, the airport
You have
garage,
to get charged on every one of your rentals.
Okay.
Okay, if that's the law. Every airport is run by either a city or a state, and they all have different laws. It'll be different in Fort Lauderdale as it is in Miami. They're all different. And if you open up in Tampa, it's going to be different. So each airport sets its own rules and regs and percentages. So,
Okay.
and the state, I'll give you an example. In Phoenix, if you're within the airport zone in Phoenix, you have to charge $22 one time on every rental, regardless of whether or not it went through the airport.
dollars?
And you have to charge an airport fee if you pick them up at the airport fee, which is another $15. Okay, but you don't have that in Miami. Each one is different. That's why it's imperative that now you go to the and say, you know, and I, like I said earlier, take out you can go to your sales tax website and look up required sales tax for rental cars. It's the same as your hotels. Right now, if you go across the street to, I don't know, the Hilton, and you rent a room tonight because I'm coming in and I'm going to work with you and you guys are going to pay for it. And the bill is going to have an airport tax, or it's most certainly going to have a hotel tax. So similar taxes are for auto rental. No big deal. It's not money you have to pay, but it is money that you have to collect from the customer and send it to the state. Okay. Any questions? Comments? Yeah, I hate the state too. Location, we don't have to talk about location. You already got them.
Yeah, is that at 1290 Northeast 125th?
Yes.
Is that where you're at now?
Yes,
And that's where your cars are at?
yes,
Yeah, nice location, nice facility.
thank you.
Yeah, from what the internet shows, you did a nice job with that.
Good deal.
And both airports are really convenient the location is convenient. We are close to both airports, Miami
Right.
and Fort Lauderdale.
Right.
Good.
Really good.
So you want to get a hold of the state sales tax division. By your address, they will tell you what taxes you need to collect. There are some areas where all you have to do is collect sales tax, but it's not in Florida, I guarantee you. Okay. Your phone system. One of the dangers, because you guys are building a different rental car company. And you want to build a a special entity, I guess is a good way to look at it. So that you're providing not only a service, you're also providing an experience. Am I headed in the right direction, Bruce?
You stepped away.
Okay. So we're looking at an experience. And in this experience, it can fall apart in a heartbeat if you're answering the phone on a cell phone. The quickest way to break that, I'm going to say theater, and in the theater, they have that fourth wall. You know what the fourth wall is?
Yep.
In the theater, you have both wings, those are two walls, and the back wall. The fourth wall is that wall across the front that is between the audience and the actor. And between the audience and the actor, that fourth wall is the face that that show is putting out. Rent a Tesla is putting out, or Try a Tesla rather, is putting out a program, an attitude that you're different than everybody else. We're not even calling it rentals, we're calling it a booking. The quickest way to ruin that is have somebody answer the cell phone and it's all crackly and back, blah, 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 blah. You know how that goes. So
We're
you have
actually-
a hard line. And I don't know
Yeah.
if you do. Do you have a hard line?
We're actually, a lot of people just call my cell phone.
Right?
I know it's good and bad because people like that it's very personal. A lot of people have told me and shared with me that it's very personal, the actual experience. You know, they can just text me, they call me, I answer the phone, but I know for when we get bigger, it's not gonna work.
Right.
When you're small and you're dealing with people, you know that works. But the first time customer is the one you're gonna miss. Because if I'm calling, now how are you gonna answer your cell phone? You're getting personal calls, you're getting business calls, are you answering it hello?
Yeah.
All right, well, we call clients all the time. And I am a consumer. All right, and when I call and it's answered hello, I said, oh, I'm sorry, I thought I called a car rental company and I hang
Right.
up. Right?
Yeah, a lot of people do tell me that, like, is this Try a Tesla? And I said, yes, I'm sorry, how can I help you?
That's it. So you're gonna lose a lot of business.
What you
Like-
want to do to solve what you're doing, because the people that you're dealing with also like to deal with text. So you should have a published phone number that's a hard line that people can call.
Yeah.
Okay. And for the people that want to deal with a text, you can publish the text number underneath it. Just like we do with an email.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have people that don't want to talk to anybody, they just want to text. Matter of fact, I hate to say this, but I found out that my youngest daughter was getting married by text. Okay, so the world is changing, all right? At least she sent a picture with it, whatever. So that's the world we live in today. So yeah, and that's not a bad deal. Here's your phone number for those that want to use a phone, and right underneath it, the text number. Okay.
But
Yeah.
decide what was, you know, when you answer the phone as a business. All right?
And we're
And
going to
then
talk
other-
about that. We're going to talk about the proper way to answer a phone.
Yeah, that'll be
A
later.
little down the line. So if you don't have a hard line now, you might want to consider a hard line. Do you have an 800 number?
We do have a hard line.
Good.
It's transferred to my cell phone.
That's fine.
Not transfer, they send messages and
Well, no,
emails.
because you're still answering it hello.
A lot of calls.
Oh, from that,
Yeah, I get a lot of calls. The problem
Okay.
is that when I get the number, I can't tell if they're calling
You or the business.
me, the business, Klaus, whatever it is.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
another,
guys gotta work that out so that you break it up.
Another phone.
Yeah, you guys gotta
Simple.
work that out. And I would, let's go through this here. Most of your initial contact is through the customer, is through the phone.
Yeah, but then when
We
nobody
suggest a
comes-
hardwired, which you already have. And cell phone technology is great, but the problem with cell phone, the biggest problem with cell phone, I'm answering the cell phone. And because the microphones are so sensitive, they're picking up all the conversations all the way around the room.
Right,
And what happens, and David and I experience this all the time, when we're calling a rental car company and they answer the phone on a cell phone, we can hear the mechanic working in the back, we can hear the person we're talking to, and we can hear the person next to him giving that customer a price. What if the price you want to give me is different?
yeah.
Okay, so these are things that you need, and it's not going to happen all the time. When I first got my first cell phone, which by the way, I'm dating myself, my first cell phone was bolted to the floor of my car and it rang as a regular phone. It looked like a regular phone and the headlights used to flash if I wasn't in the car to tell me I had a call. And I'm dating myself. But what I would do is if I was going to pick up a customer, I would forward the company phone, which was a hard line, to the cell phone. And then I consistently answered the phone. Thank you for calling. My name is. Okay. So you guys can work it out which phones where and what. All right. So there's some thoughts for you. Your internet is already installed, right?
yes.
The word.
Okay.
Oh,
Internet is already installed. Because your credit card processing should go through the internet and through your rental software. What rental software are you using?
so right now, when we signed up for US Choice, the insurance, it came with a rental software.
Good.
And we're not using that one yet.
Okay.
Also, we're creating our website, so we're gonna have something with our website as well, or software.
Well, you got probably the Rent Centric program.
Right, rent center.
Okay.
Mhm.
Rent Centric is a rental management program. It's not designed to interface with customers. It is
Okay.
designed, and the use for it is for you to manage your business.
Okay,
Now, you can put on your website, and a lot of people confuse the two. You don't have to. You can put on your website a link requesting a reservation, and you should, and you must. But when that reservation comes in, you want to physically put it in because you want to contact the customer ahead of time. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to call Billy Bob over in Tampa, who's coming to Miami and he wants a Tesla. You're going to call him to make sure he's got a credit card and his driver's license is good. You want his insurance, and you get all that information. And then you can put it into Rent Centric.
okay.
Now,
One question, excuse
Yeah.
me. Why can't we do that automatically through the website? If it was a bank, I would call it onboarding. The client is uploading all the information, credit card, license, everything.
Mhm.
it's July 3rd.
Yeah.
And Miami is having a worldwide celebration on the 4th. And they expect 125,000 people to show up in Miami. And everybody's sold out of cars. And they come across your website and they start booking your cars overnight. And you come in tomorrow morning and you have 75 reservations and 20 cars available.
No. The software.
It's gonna hold our inventory, it's
It's
gonna,
gonna do scheduling and the inventory control,
Okay.
double bookings.
You can do that Rent Centric will do that. It'll calculate that they have so many cars available, and that's fine. You can do that as well.
Be prepared to pay for it.
And it's actually not that expensive, but you've got to understand that you have to control the reservations, and that's fine. If you, as long as you're prepared for it, and because you're gonna have to contact these people, like you said, you want to get a hold of their insurance company.
Oh, question.
Yeah,
I've been having a lot of problems with that. We like to check the information before the customer comes, so
Yes.
we don't have them waiting in our lobby for an hour.
right.
So every time we call the insurance company, they're always, to verify their information, they always say, we cannot share that with you because you're not obviously the person insured.
Yeah, and it's real easy. Billy Bob is here renting a car, and we're gonna talk about this down the road. And if he smashes up the car, will you pay me? And we do that while the customer's standing in front of us.
Because the customer has to give them
Customer
the
has to give them
information to
permission.
access his account.
So that's the only way. We have to wait until they come into the office.
With some insurance companies, yes.
Yeah.
Many
What?
insurance agents, if you contact their agent, the agent will usually say, oh yeah, Billy's a good guy and we've got insurance that transfers to a rental car.
2 questions.
Yeah,
One, why do they have to be present? Why can't it be a 3-way call? Hey, Billy Bob, stay online. I'm gonna call up your insurance company, make
That's
sure
fine.
that,
there's
Okay.
nothing wrong with that either.
All
Any
right.
way you work it out,
okay, and the
yeah,
second,
whichever way you want to do it. That's a
And the
good way to
second
do it.
question- and the second question is, when I go to Alamo or Avis or anybody, they've never, that I know of, they don't call my insurance company. They just say, you wanna waive it?
I was
Let's-
wondering when
When
that
was that
question
gonna
was
come
coming
up?
up. And I
Okay.
always let the agent,
Always, there
I
you
always
go.
let the people ask the question rather than tell them. And here's
Look at
why.
the top, look at the top line.
I'm gonna go to Enterprise. How many
Right.
cars?
1.1 million.
Okay,
Do they buy insurance?
no,
No, I actually work for a company that insured the United States government, Exxon. They're very big, but when you waive it, when you waive it and you say you have insurance, they don't care.
they don't care because, and here's why. If they get $1 million lawsuit
Mhm.
and they have to pay it because they screwed up, all they have to do is add $1 to every car. And they can pay that $1 million and they got another 100,000 to go to dinner with.
Right.
So
If-
they're
if
gonna
they-
spread their losses out. How many cars do you have?
25.
Spread $1 million lawsuit over 25 cars. Or better yet, turn in $1 million lawsuit to your insurance company and what's gonna happen? And that's the difference between an airport operator and an independent. And you're gonna get that
When-
question from your customers all the time.
When I was running Dollar Corporate, we had probably 7,000 cars, 6,000 cars at corporate stores. We didn't buy insurance. And that was in the 70s. We were simply too big. We just paid losses out of income. And that's why we didn't have to ask if a customer was insured. We didn't care. We might find out after something happened. He smacked up our car. Okay, Mr. Jones, who are you insured by? But it was after the fact.
Bruce, that's a great question. And the reason I say it's a great question, because most of your customers are going to say the same thing. How come you're asking that? Well, I'll tell you what's happening at the airports lately.
They're asking.
At the airports, they're asking for an ID card, an insurance ID card.
When I rented a car from Dollar Rent-A-Car in Chicago,
So it's changing.
pre-pandemic, they wanted my driver's license, they wanted my credit card, they wanted to see my insurance card, and they wanted to see my return air ticket. And that was Dollar Rent-A-Car at the airport in Chicago. Surprise.
I want you to write down return air ticket, because I want to come back to that when we're talking about reservations. Okay,
Quick question, if we do what I call the onboarding, the person uploads the driver's license, the person uploads their
uh-huh.
credit card information, the person does the time reservation from this day to this day, and our software, our website is managing inventory, making sure there's no double bookings. And the person also uploads their insurance card. Is that sufficient?
Is it real?
Well,
Well,
the insurance card is issued for a 6-month period typically,
kind of a little.
sometimes for a quarter. However, is that insurance active on the day he's renting your car? Or
Well,
did
no.
it just get canceled?
A quick answer for you, Bruce, on that is it's good for pre-qualifying, but he's got to bring it all with him when he comes in.
Right.
Because I can take an insurance ID card, create a PDF,
Right.
Oh, yeah.
edit it, change the dates, and we're good to go,
True.
and print it out. And now I got an ID card with the right date. I can go downtown Miami and stand on East 25th and buy a driver's license and a social security card. It's $110 for the social security card, and a driver's license will cost me $125 with a picture. And I can become Manuel.
Yeah.
Or
And
correct.
Jim and David, I wanted to just so you guys know, we have Carl here also. He's the
Hi,
one
Carl.
that, yeah, he's
Hey,
the one
Carl.
that's
I got a
questions.
question for Carl. I sent you I sent you a link and it came back that it couldn't go through because I must have typed it wrong. What is your right email address while I got you here, Carl?
Carl with a C. CARL at klauspark.com.
At House Park?
Klaus with a K.
Oh, okay. Klaus Park
With a K.com.
.com. Okay. Yeah, because it bounced back. That's why you didn't get your invitation.
Yeah, I also had another seminar, sorry, at the same time, so I'm here and I'm catching
No
up.
problem. We're taping this so you can sit and enjoy this forever.
That's why I wanted to tape it. As a matter of fact, if you don't mind, if you give me your name or phone number or something, if I have any questions, I'd love to be able to call you and just quickly ask it.
Our program includes 1 full year of support.
Great.
And there's a fellow that's logged in with us, Barry Brady. Barry, say hi. Unless Barry went and got another cup of coffee. There he is.
No, I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm here.
Barry is going to be your contact person in case, so you not only have David and I, you have Barry if you need things. And we all have the same attitude. If we don't know the answer, we will find the professional that does and get that answer taken care of. And you're good for that until next year at this time.
Yeah, I'm gonna be watching the first hour, and I guess there's some way to call if I have any questions during that time.
That's us, you bet. And you've got our phone numbers.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Now, I want to go back here to licenses. This is where we started. Many operators already have a dealer's license. We suggest that you I don't know, do you guys have a dealer's license?
No.
No, they don't really do that.
Okay,
Tesla doesn't do that.
but
Oh, wait.
we're able to buy the cars without sales tax.
Oh,
State
yeah,
dealer's license. you mean?
Okay,
without sales tax?
No, excuse me. Do you mean state dealer's tax or a Tesla dealer?
a state dealer's license
We do.
to where you can buy and sell cars.
We do? I don't.
No?
No, we have a tax exempt ID, but we don't have a dealer's license. No.
Okay,
State.
that's like $1,700 a year. Yeah.
So you do have a tax ID so you don't have to buy the sales tax. That's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah, we
Okay,
don't pay sales tax on the cars, huh?
okay. You should also have a license to sell rental car coverages. It says insurance here. I want to change that to coverages. Because supplemental liability insurance and personal accident insurance. Now, Ed was going to join us today, but he didn't. Ed got your insurance, right?
Yeah,
Who
And
did
we
he
also-
get-
sorry,
who did it go through?
US Choice.
Okay, good. So US Choice, get a hold of Ed because you should be able to sell supplemental liability insurance and personal accident insurance.
We don't, I don't know if you can call it sell it, but we tell the guest that they can purchase insurance from Alliance Travel Insurance.
That's okay. That's good. That's good, but
What do
that's to pay for your car.
About that company. Do you have any opinion on that company?
Don't ask me that.
Okay,
Okay. How are they paying the claims?
we're having one now, a small claim, a little scratch, so we'll see.
Okay.
Mhm.
And we'll talk about that. I don't think they're a bad company. They do a lot of business. And actually, they're the ones that run the webs, or they're the ones that are on the websites for Hertz and Avis and Budget and all those guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and our program won't cover Tesla.
Our program, we've got a program, but it won't cover Teslas, right?
And ours is better than Alliance, but it just won't cover Tesla.
Why is that? Because of an electric car or because of the value
Because parts.
parts?
Being able to get the cars repaired and to get the parts.
Right.
So the insurance companies have pulled back on Tesla.
Yeah.
It's like, I can get a hood for a Chevy in a half hour. I can't get a hood for a Tesla in a half hour. Okay,
Well, that's good for us because we charge for the loss of income.
absolutely. And you can do that.
Yeah.
But insurance companies won't pay it. Customer has to pay it.
Wow. Yeah,
Where were we? Okay. So you should have a license to sell that insurance. Are you selling it or are they buying it while they're there?
the Alliance?
Yeah.
We give them the option. I tell them, they can sign up on their own, or I can do it for them. If it's easier, I just use their information and then I charge it into the rental
Okay.
agreement.
Be careful because you need a license to do that in Florida.
Okay,
Write this down. You need a license. It's called a limited license to sell rental car products.
okay.
Where do we buy that?
From the state. Get a hold, when you talk, the next time you talk to Ed, he may know. But usually it's through the franchise tax or the, not franchise tax, through the insurance, Florida Insurance Bureau, or whatever they call it down there.
Oh, excuse me. Do you recall what you're paying per car per month for your insurance with the US Choice?
It's about 230.
230?
Yeah.
That's pretty decent.
Mhm.
That's really
But we're
decent.
not, we're using, so I'm using the person's insurance, the guest insurance first.
Yes,
So I
Yeah,
let them have that and
that's the way
then,
to do it.
right.
Yeah.
But this is for liability and collision comp?
yeah, up to about 55,000.
Okay, good.
Okay, cool.
So we're gonna go through that with you as well, to make sure in case you have any questions on that,
Yeah,
okay? Now, depending on your state, it could be as simple as filling out a form and sending in a check to get that limited license. So you wanna check the Florida insurance, whatever, Okay. Your city, county, and state may also require a business license, which you guys probably already have.
Yeah.
Okay. Proper fleet insurance. You already have it, but we're going to talk about it later on. So I'm going to skip it for now. And we know that you're with US Choice, and we do a lot of work with US Choice. So we're going to go through your program for you as well. Fleet financing. Like all things car rental, the financing for fleet is altogether different. Your funding should be compatible with the ability to rent cars and dispose of the vehicles within 12 or 24 months. We will discuss this later on in the manual. Most retail finance through banks and dealers do not allow the cars to be rented. They exclude livery.
Okay.
So we'll talk about your financing when we get to the fleet
Just
part.
a note, I'm not sure if you guys are aware. We're different from rental cars company as well because we don't have any plans to sell the cars. So what we're actually doing is getting the cars together now for when the FSD full self-driving comes out, then use them as robo taxis later. So we're gathering a fleet now, using them as rental cars to be able to pay for them. And then later on, use them as robo taxis. So we don't have any plans to sell them.
Global taxis?
Yeah, a robo taxi, which is
Oh, you're
FS
gonna outfit them to drive without somebody in it.
right,
Yeah, and that's fine. But you still have depreciation. It's still worth less tomorrow than it is today.
right.
And the same with your note. So we'll get into that. Okay. Yeah, and whatever you do at the end of it, I think that's a great idea. I think that's a really good idea.
What was that?
Huh?
What
You-
was
you-
that? The good idea you said?
They're going to convert the cars somewhere along the line into robo taxis where you can program the car and it'll pick up the customer and take them to a different place.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. driverless
But
car.
by then, the car's gonna be old.
And
There's
I think
depreciation.
it all depends. I think that technology may only be a year or two out.
Hmm.
They stopped it. The feds stopped it recently, but I'm sure they'll bring it right back.
Well, yeah, it just depends on how accurate Google Maps is.
Yeah, they had some problems with Google Maps.
Yeah, open up a pothole and see what happens,
Yeah.
or a manhole.
Yeah.
Manhole in Chicago and see what happens. Yeah. I'm
Credit
sorry.
card
go ahead.
processing. The next piece is credit card processing. Rental transactions are mostly done with credit cards. You'll need to set up to accept credit cards, which you probably already have. There are certain protections that rental car companies get if you pass the proper information. So let's find out real quickly if your credit card processing is set up properly. When Billy Bob hands you a credit card, you have the machine that you put the credit card into? Yes, no?
So we started with Square
Uh-huh.
and now we are just getting our actual credit card processing set up to hold deposits, to do that, yeah.
Good. Because one of the things that, as a rental car company, if you're setting it up through Rentcentric,
Yep,
when you swipe the credit card, it automatically pulls the right information and it sends the right information to the processor that you are a rental car company, and it'll guarantee, for instance, remember we made that joke a little bit ago about the 100,000 people that are going to show up at Miami tomorrow?
Yep.
Okay. If you took a reservation 5 days ago and they did it on a Visa card, they don't show because and they were gonna rent the car for just one day and now you just lost it because they didn't show. If you're passing the proper information, you can charge that credit card for that one day. And the customer cannot dispute it. Visa will stand with you. So it doesn't happen a lot, but it's called a special event. Holiday days, same thing. So that's good that you're setting it up with Turo or with RentCentric.
If they're doing the booking online, we would have to set that up so the system knows if it's a credit card or a debit card.
No, it doesn't.
It won't know.
That's what I'm asking. There
The only way to know is by looking on the card itself. 'Cause the card.
Yeah, the only way you know is looking at the card. Now you're
Okay.
charging everything in a, well, we'll get to that later, but.
Yeah. How does that work if you charge in advance?
I'm sorry?
How would that work if we're charging, we give them the option to, so right now, let's say somebody wants to book next month. I send them the invoice through Square. I give them the option to pay $100 to reserve it. And then they pay the rest upon arrival.
Right, that's a non-refundable deposit.
Right,
Okay, as long as you're telling them what your deposit is and so on. Then when they come in, are you taking the rest of the money then?
yes,
So if I'm gonna have the car for 3 days and I'm paying you $300 a day for the car, you're gonna collect the 900 and minus the 100 that I guaranteed the reservation with, right?
right,
Plus taxes and so on.
yeah,
Good, that's what I wanna know, plus the deposit,
right.
okay. State-specific rental contract. I don't know what rental contract you're using. You're probably using the US
The
Choice
US
contract.
Yeah,
Okay, so that'll be state-specific, so you're covered there. And RentCentric has their contract for you that US Choice has
Not
approved.
really, not really. They do not have yet because, we have to modify it for electric vehicles. Like we have to even change the gas level, fuel level to battery level.
Not really, not really. I've trained a lot of people on Tesla rental.
How can we?
It's, what's the difference between a gas reading and a charge reading? The charge is full, or it's 3/4, or it's half. right?
Okay, but it says,
That's all. The rest of it's the same.
yeah,
Let me
we
ask
just,
you this,
oh,
do you charge to recharge the battery?
yes,
There you go.
Okay, is it a flat charge?
we have a percentage rate. I believe it's 51% to 80%. They bring back. I have the numbers there, I forget.
Okay,
Same thing,
But-
same thing as gasoline.
same thing as gasoline.
It's just a charge instead of gas, that's all.
Right. No, we just changed it just so to make it a little bit, nicer.
Yeah, and what you do is just tell RentCentric to change the nomenclature. They can do
Yeah.
that.
They'll change things for you.
Yeah, that's how they're gonna change.
And if you're talking to Marge, you can tell them exactly what you want. And if Marge can't do it, ask for Michael Yosef.
okay,
Yeah, Ed was helping us with that.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Be
so,
good.
yeah, and you can change all that. And
Let me ask
remember
you,
the back of the rental agreement, make sure that everything you say in there is what GMI gives you. Okay,
Right.
let me ask you something about RentCentric. Can we,
Yeah.
are you aware of any instances where RentCentric is linked to a website that functions as the interface with the customer, and it automatically works with RentCentric so that everything gets taken care of through an automatic link?
I know some folks have tried it and got burnt
Oh, yeah.
because they didn't have enough cars. and it takes a lot of attention on the part of the rental company to make sure that that the reservation manifests and everything are taken care of. If you, I haven't heard anything bad. So if you're comfortable with what they're doing, it's real simple. You're gonna find out after 20, 50, 100 rentals.
Yeah, I don't know these people. I've done this with software linking them to banks directly and to large corporations.
Yeah,
So that our software could link directly with the bank. And a lot of the man hours were eliminated basically. And it was a lot, it was financial information, banking information, and we're talking multi-million-dollar loans. So it can be done. The only thing is, I don't know in this industry if it's
Yeah.
being done.
most rental, you gotta remember, what is the Rent-Centric's software for? It's to manage your fleet,
Right.
not to make reservations.
Yeah,
Rental
well,
management software is just that. It does have a reservation module.
Yeah.
Which takes the information and it will set aside a car for a particular time. If you want to go farther than that, then it's going to require programming on their part.
Yeah.
And whatever they charge, I have no idea.
Yeah, they'll do any program you want if you're willing to pay
If
for
you're
it.
willing to pay, they'll do whatever you want.
Sure,
Yeah.
they've got the technology.
yeah.
We've been at this now for 2 hours. And I can't go much farther because I gotta jump on to another meeting.
Me too.
We're gonna pick it up tomorrow at this picture. And I love
Right.
this picture because I like the fact that before the police get there, she's gonna brush the broken glass out of her hair. I think that's great.
Oh,
Thank you, guys.
Now, before you guys go, are all your cars identical? Or do you have different models?
we have 23 model Ys, and
No,
one.
I mean, as far as the models themselves, not color. I'm talking
No, no.
dollars.
We have Model Y and Model S.
Oh, okay.
One Model S for now.
And the difference in price with that one?
No, the Model S is not gonna be rented out anymore. It's the Plaid.
Yes.
It's not gonna be rented out anymore. It's $150,000 car, 0 to 60 in 2 seconds.
Yeah,
First person who rented it out, did all kinds of crazy stuff and put it on YouTube. So we figured that's not a good business idea because,
thank you. Good.
I didn't, because he said he changed the price yesterday, senior.
oh yeah?
Yes.
Well, he doesn't wanna do it anymore because he was so upset about what they did. And, think about it, it's faster than any Ferrari, faster than any
Yeah.
Lamborghini.
Gonna just play with that
And
car.
that anybody who can afford it and is stupid, I mean, and we're not talking about a teenager, this was like a 55-year-old guy doing this. And put it on YouTube, you can see it if you want, but no, we're not, I don't think we're renting that one out. We are getting some Model Ys, we're getting some Model X's, mostly Model, and we're getting some Model 3s, some Model X's, and we're mostly with Model Ys. Now,
Yeah.
there's differences between them in interior color and, some
Yeah.
things, but paint color, that's it.
So if I use $60,000 as an average for
Yeah.
purchase price and acquisition price
Right.
for tomorrow's profit builders, that'd be good.
Yeah, let me just mention one thing that I don't think you're aware of. What do you think is the depreciation on a car when it comes out the lot?
We're gonna look that up. I'm gonna look it up myself.
Oh, okay.
Typically, we're
Yeah.
gonna do depreciation based on what that car was purchased for and what that car is going to be worth with miles on it and the few dings and dents and scratches that it's gonna have in 2 years.
Yeah, I figured that's what you were gonna do. Just as a comment, I've owned a rental company, but construction equipment. I'm aware of the typical business plan, which is to buy at a steep discount, rent it out and then sell it at the price you bought it at, a couple of years down or a year down. That's the typical business. With Tesla, number one, there's no discount. The first call we made, Bruce thought of this idea, was to one of the vice presidents almost of Tesla, and they said basically not even Elon Musk gets a discount. There's no fleet discount. There's no discount for anybody.
Right.
Now, having said that, right now, Tesla has said if we want to sell any of our Teslas to them, this is a year later, we can sell it to them for 5% less than what we bought it at, just to give you an idea of the depreciation.
Right. And that's happening with all cars right now.
Yeah.
Because they can't get chips to build
I
cars.
get it. Mhm.
We have people that are driving in to get service. My daughter works at a Lincoln store,
Mhm.
and she's the service manager for a Lincoln store here in Charlotte. And people are driving in with their cars for service, and the GM is standing greeting them, offering to buy a 1-year-old Lincoln for 5% more than what they paid for it. And he's standing there with what they paid for it, and say, I'll pay you 5% more and buy the car.
Yeah.
And because nobody's got cars, so everybody's doing it.
Yeah, that's not gonna last.
Not gonna last, but
Yeah.
everybody is doing it right now.
Yeah, you can't do a business plan based on that.
No, because that's gonna go away. Right now, the rental industry is 70,000 cars light from where they should be.
Yeah,
They
know.
need 70,000 cars.
They
just
can't
to
buy.
handle
To
what
meet
they should
demand,
have.
yeah.
And that's
People
all.
with reservations.
That's only in the United States. One of my partners owns Alamo in another country.
Yep.
And he needs 600 cars, and he can only get 1 or 2 a month. It's ridiculous. It's killing him.
That's right. And the guys that are getting them, we've got a couple of guys that are out going from Nissan dealer to Nissan dealer, buying one car and paying full retail, so that they have cars to rent.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad idea right now. So,
Yeah.
having said that, the rental vehicles have 2 depreciations, one for the IRS and one true depreciation. What are we going to sell that car for 2 years from now?
Right.
Okay, so we're going to work on that tomorrow. I'm going to use $60,000, and I'll create a spreadsheet that you guys can look at to tweak your rates under the formulas that we teach.
I would use perhaps $68,000 average. What do you think, Bruce?
68.
Yeah, purchase
Yeah.
price.
Okay. So 68 acquisition costs. Got it.
What time tomorrow?
10 o'clock.
Okay,
Tomorrow is the next session, isn't it?
No,
it was supposed to be on Thursday.
Thursday. Yes,
Thank you,
Thursday.
Paul.
wait a minute. Tomorrow is Thursday.
No,
Yeah, tomorrow.
oh,
My goodness.
Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow is
unfortunately, yeah.
Thursday.
24th is Friday.
I show the next session Friday, the 24th. Is that correct?
I'm bringing up the calendar. Let me check.
Because I'm not available
Yes.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm
the
not
next
available
session is the 24th, 10 o'clock.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow.
Okay,
I was excited because we're into insurance, and that's my thing.
good.
Thank you, everybody. I'm
Thank
going to
you.
ask you one question. Did you learn anything today?
Yes,
Did you learn something that's going to help you in the future?
Yes.
yes.
Good.
Okay, that's important.
That's what we want to hear. And one of us should get a hold. I sent Ed an invitation, but I haven't seen him. I know yesterday was a holiday, but I don't know about today.
Did you guys learn anything today?
I did. I did not realize that Tesla was open to working with rental car companies. I think that's great. The other thing was the fact that you guys are looking to turn these into robo taxis. I think that's an awesome idea. This is very clever. And I also learned that your business model is very clever. So
Good.
I feel privileged that we're gonna work with you on it, and I can't wait to see how it works out.
Good. We look forward to it as well. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, boys and
Could you-
girls.
Yes, could you please share the record of this video?
I
as
am.
well?
I'm gonna drop it. I have to drop it to YouTube. And then I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so
We
much.
won't leave it on YouTube, but that's what I have to do to fix it.
All right,
There you go.
yes,
Thank you,
Okay.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.
bye-bye.